This pocket watch belonged to a passenger on the RMS Titanic. It was found years later, frozen at the exact time the ship sank into the icy depths of the Atlantic. It reads to 20 AM, April 15, 1912. Every tick of this watch echoes the heartbeat of a tragedy that has fascinated and haunted us for over a century. Tonight, we will not just recount the story of a ship, but delve into the lives it touched, the dreams it carried, and the moments when it all went wrong. Join me as we journey through the history of the Titanic, from its grand conception to its tragic demise. Our story begins in the early 1900s, a time of immense technological progress and unbridled ambition. The White Star Line, eager to outdo its rivals in the transatlantic passenger trade, envisioned a trio of immense luxury liners. The second of these ships was to become the Titanic, a marvel of modern engineering and opulence. Designed by the shipbuilder Thomas Andrews, the Titanic was constructed at the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Ireland. Thousands of workers toiled for 2 years, from 1909 to 1911, to bring this colossal vessel to life. It measured 882 feet in length, stood 175 feet tall, and weighed over 46,000 tons. Its design included advanced safety features, such as watertight compartments and remotely activated watertight doors, which led many to believe it was virtually unsinkable. The workforce was immense and diverse, with men from various backgrounds coming together to construct this behemoth. The shipyard bustled with activity, a symphony of hammering, riveting, and the clanging of metal. Workers labored under difficult conditions, often risking their lives to build what was promised to be the epitome of luxury and safety. Imagine the excitement and pride of those who saw the Titanic for the first time. It was not just a ship, it was a floating palace, the epitome of luxury and technological prowess. The first-class accommodations were sumptuous, complete with grand staircases, elegant dining rooms, and opulent suites. The Titanic was a symbol of human ingenuity and ambition. The Titanic's construction was a monumental effort. It required approximately 3,000 workers and was fitted with 29 boilers to power its massive engines. The ship's maiden voyage was highly anticipated, not just because of its size and luxury, but also because of the promise of safety and speed. The ship had state-of-the-art amenities, including a swimming pool, a gymnasium, squash courts, and even a Turkish bath. First-class passengers could enjoy fine dining with menus offering exquisite dishes, while third-class accommodations, though less luxurious, were still better than what many immigrants had experienced on other ships. On April 10, 1912, the Titanic set sail from Southampton, England, on its maiden voyage to New York City. It was a spectacle of luxury and innovation, with the finest amenities available to its passengers. The ship carried over 2,200 people, including some of the wealthiest individuals of the time, such as John Jacob Astor IV and Isidor Straus. However, the ship was also a symbol of hope for many immigrants traveling to America in search of a better life. Each passenger, from the opulent first-class suites to the modest third-class cabins, had their own dreams and stories. The Titanic's journey included stops at Cherbourg, France, and Queenstown, now Cope, Ireland, to pick up additional passengers. By April 11th, the Titanic was en route across the Atlantic. The atmosphere on board was festive and relaxed, with passengers enjoying the ship's many luxuries and amenities. In first class, passengers enjoyed lavish meals, strolled along the promenade deck, and socialized in the elegant lounges. In second class, passengers had comfortable accommodations and access to a library and smoking room. Third-class passengers, though separated from the higher classes, still found the conditions far superior to other ships they had traveled on. Life on board was like a grand adventure. The first-class passengers dined on gourmet meals prepared by top chefs, attended elegant parties, and strolled the decks. Second-class passengers enjoyed comfortable cabins and the library, while third-class passengers, although in more modest accommodations, were treated to clean quarters and ample food. One notable story is that of Violet Jessup, a stewardess who would later be known as Miss Unsinkable. She survived not only the Titanic disaster, but also the sinking of the Britannic, another White Star Line ship. Her account provides a unique perspective on the events that unfolded. On the night of April 14, 1912, the Titanic was sailing under clear skies and calm seas. But at 11:40 p.m., the unthinkable happened. The lookout spotted an iceberg directly in the ship's path. Despite desperate efforts to steer clear, the Titanic struck the iceberg on its starboard side. The collision caused a series of fatal breaches along the hull, flooding 5 of the ship's watertight compartments. As water poured in, it became clear that the Titanic was doomed. The ship that was deemed unsinkable would be at the bottom of the ocean in just a few short hours. Panic and confusion erupted among the passengers and crew. The lifeboats, designed to carry about 1,178 people, were insufficient for the 2,200 on board. Additionally, many lifeboats were launched half-empty due to the lack of proper evacuation procedures and disbelief that the Titanic could actually sink. Heroic acts of bravery were witnessed that night. The ship's band continued to play music to calm passengers, and many crew members stayed behind to help others. Captain Edward Smith, the ship's captain, went down with his vessel, a testament to the code of honor among seafarers. As the Titanic's bow dipped below the surface, the stern rose high into the air, and the ship eventually broke apart. At 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, the Titanic disappeared beneath the waves, leaving over 1,500 people to face the icy waters of the North Atlantic. Survivors in the lifeboats watched in horror as the Titanic sank, and they could hear the desperate cries of those still in the water. The icy waters claimed lives quickly, and hypothermia set in within minutes. The survivors huddled together, praying for rescue. One remarkable tale is that of Eva Hart, a 7-year-old girl traveling with her parents. Eva and her mother survived, but her father did not. Years later, Eva recounted how her mother had an uneasy feeling about the voyage and stayed up all night, fully dressed, which likely contributed to their quick evacuation. Another poignant story is that of the unsinkable Molly Brown. Margaret Brown was a first-class passenger who took charge in her lifeboat, urging the crew to go back and rescue more survivors. Her bravery and leadership in the face of disaster have made her a legendary figure. As the Titanic sank, the frigid waters of the Atlantic claimed over 1,500 lives. The survivors, huddled in lifeboats, faced the bitter cold, waiting for rescue. The RMS Carpathia arrived in the early hours of April 15th to rescue the 705 survivors. The aftermath of the disaster sparked widespread outrage and led to significant changes in maritime safety regulations. The International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea (SOLAS) was established, mandating sufficient lifeboats for all passengers and continuous radio watch. The Titanic disaster had a profound impact on maritime laws and shipbuilding practices. It highlighted the need for better safety measures, such as lifeboat drills, improved communication systems, and the establishment of the International Ice Patrol to monitor iceberg dangers. Decades passed with the Titanic resting undisturbed at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. It wasn't until 1985 that a team led by oceanographer Dr. Robert Ballard discovered the wreck. Using advanced submersible technology, they captured the first images of the Titanic since it sank. The discovery was a monumental achievement, revealing the ship lying into main pieces, approximately 12,500 feet below the surface. The bow and stern sections were separated by about 2,000 feet, surrounded by a debris field containing personal items, parts of the ship, and other remnants of the tragic night. The exploration provided new insights into the sinking and the ship's final moments. It also reignited public interest and fascination with the Titanic, leading to numerous documentaries, books, and movies that further immortalized its story. The Titanic story has permeated popular culture in countless ways. From literature and documentaries to the iconic 1997 film by James Cameron, the Titanic continues to captivate audiences around the globe. As we close this chapter, let us remember the ticking of this watch, forever frozen up to 20 AM, as a symbol of a moment in history that changed the world. The Titanic may lie in the depths of the ocean, but its story continues to live on, reminding us of the fragility of life and the enduring strength of the human spirit. We must remember the lessons learned from the Titanic disaster, ensuring that such a tragedy never happens again. The advances in safety regulations and maritime practices that followed the sinking have saved countless lives, proving that even in the darkest times, progress and hope can emerge. As we depart tonight, let us take a moment to reflect on the lives lost and the stories left untold. May we honor their memory by cherishing our loved ones and striving to make the world a safer, more compassionate place. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history of the Titanic. May we honor those who perished by remembering their stories and the lessons learned from that fateful night.